category now is the last category, which is the my favorite overall release of 2018 from the Criterion Collection. So about my favorite DVD to Blu-ray release. I've talked about my favorite new release. Talked about my favorite Laserdisc to Blu-ray release. I've talked about my favorite box sets. So now let's take all that and amalgam and let's combine them. And so I'd like to now share with you my favorite overall release from Criterion in 2018. This is the end. This is the last one. So anyway, here is my top 5 favorite overall release from the Criterion Collection this year. Number 5, it is this film. This is spine number 952, The Magnificent Ambersons, Orson Welles, the classic film. This is the film that is so inspiring and so tragic in terms of its production. And so there is so much to this. There is so much joy. There is so much intrigue. It is a very deep story and a very moving story. And it is a marvel that it works so well as it is. You can only think and wonder what could have been. But that is the mystery, and that is part of the appeal, I would say, of this film, The Magnificent Ambersons. This is a very recent release from the Criterion Collection, and so hopefully I will be able to explore this more and more going forward. This is a fantastic Blu-ray release, and Criterion has done it again. My number 5 favorite release overall from the Criterion Collection this year, The Magnificent Ambersons. Number 4, my 4th favorite overall release, 909, Night of the Living Dead. This is the classic horror film, as I talked about before, by, what's the name of that filmmaker? Oh yes, George A. Romero. And this is so important. This is just a landmark American cinematic release, and the film operates on so many levels. It just opened the door for the zombie genre, and it plays around with that. It's still trying to establish some rules, and I'm not sure if the film itself knows what it's doing some of the time, but again, that is part of its charm, that is part of its appeal, and that's part of its trick to get at you and to lull you and to allow you to think one thing, but when your guard is down, it just knocks you out. That is the power of this film. I love this film to bits. Night of the Living Dead, my 4th favorite overall release from the Criterion Collection. Number 3, this is spine number 942, The Tree of Life. I've spoken about this film a lot, and so you're probably already sick of hearing me talking about this. But let me just say very briefly that there is so much to love about this. There's also so much that is frustrating about the film, and certain characters that I think are very frustrating. But then again, that is emblematic of the tapestry of the film and the tapestry of life. You know, not everything in life that we encounter is something that we like. So there are some aspects of the film that I don't really engage with or like very much. But that, I think I think that is just part of human nature, and so I engage with this film as though it is something out of human nature. And that is, I think, the ultimate power of this film. It transcends what it is to be a film, if you know what I mean. And so the Tree of Life, it is so fundamentally human, and thus it seems to be a living, breathing thing, in a sense. Criterion did something very special with this release, and I'm not sure if it'll be able to top it anytime soon. But in the meantime, the Tree of Life, my friends, the Tree of Life, the Criterion did something very special. If you have not gotten this film yet, please, 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 I beg you, get this film. Number 2, this is spine number 927, El Sur. I've spoken about this film a lot as well, and so I will just say one more time that it is sublime, it is emotionally powerful, it gets you at your heart and your soul. This is another one where I must urge you to see this film if you haven't seen it already. This is a magical, haunting film. Victor Arise has created a masterpiece. Some might call it an incomplete masterpiece, but even an incomplete masterpiece is still a masterpiece. And this is, my friends, a true masterpiece. El Sur, my second favorite overall film from the Criterion Collection this year. And therefore, my number 1 favorite overall release from the Criterion Collection 2018. It's one that is very special. It's one that is very famous. It is one that has so much to offer, filled to the brim with supplements, and yet the films themselves, plural, are magnificent. I don't know if I need this. I'll put the stand away because I think the item will be able to stand on its own. Could it be anything else, my friends? Yes, the Ingmar Bergman box set, Ingmar Bergman Cinema. This is the best release from Criterion in 2018. My favorite release from Criterion in 2018. It could be one of the great releases ever. I look forward to talking about this one in detail, but in the meantime, my friends, let me just once again share with you how much I adore this set. I can't believe it. I have to pinch myself. Is this really happening? And when I've seen this set finally all the way through, and I am just trying to reconfigure and recalculate my views and approach with respect to Bergman and his filmography. This is a towering achievement. It could be the greatest release Criterion has ever produced. I'm not sure about that one yet. That's one for the ages. That's one that I look forward to debating with you, my friends, in the coming weeks and months and the new year, 2019. But believe me, it is definitely a contender for the greatest release Criterion has ever made. In the meantime, we'll just have to settle for my favorite release of 2018, the Ingmar Bergman set, Ingmar Bergman Cinema. Criterion, you have really done us a huge service by releasing this set. Thank you. And for those of you who haven't gotten this yet, it will be made available again in February 2019. That's according to Criterion's website as of now. So don't worry, it'll still be there. But I urge you to try to get your copy early, because who knows what will happen in terms of sales and supply. So please make sure you get your copy early. If you can reserve it, great. Make sure you figure out a way to save money as best as you can. But believe me, this is worth it. This is worth the time. This is worth the time investment, because you are talking about a great release of some of the greatest films ever made. Criterion, well done. Okay, my friends, so that is it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sticking around as long as you have. I really appreciate it. Do you have any questions or comments? Do you have any other films that you think should be mentioned? Please feel free to mention any films that I have not mentioned. I have mentioned a lot of films, but there have been so many more that I haven't mentioned. I feel so bad not mentioning them, and I should. The Hero, I didn't mention. Beyond the Hills. Raisin in the Sun. My goodness, why didn't I talk about this? Memories of Underdevelopment. Moonrise, The King of Jazz, Ball, Breakfast Club, I, Daniel Blake. The list goes on and on. So perhaps you have your own favorites of 2018 from the Criterion Collection that I might not have mentioned. If so, please, please let me know. I would love to hear about your selections. And again, this is my own personal choice. It's my own subjective view. You might disagree. And if you disagree, that is wonderful. The world is big enough for all of us to disagree, and we can still be friends. So please let me know what your thoughts are. And yes, yes, Criterion had a wonderful year. It was a rocky year in some places, a very eventful one in many others, but it was certainly an eventful year. All around. So Criterion in 2018, what a wonderful year it was. I can't wait to see what the future has in store for all of us in 2019. Thank you very much, my dear friends, for watching. And until we meet again, cheers.